Scarlett, thank you very much for agreeing to be interviewed. Can you tell us a
No
bit about
problem.
yourself?
Of course. So my name's Scarlett James. I've been in adult film for about a year and a half. I live in the UK. I live in Nottingham. I have a cat who's actually on my bed at the moment. Um, and I work at the moment only in Europe, but I am hoping to get my US visa at the beginning of next year, which would allow me to work in America as well. Um, I've appeared on Babe Station TV, which any English viewers obviously will know about. And I started in the industry by stripping, like lap dancing, when I was 19.
Cool. So what are your measurements, your stats?
So my weight's 24. I think I do want my bra size or the like measurement
Yes.
of bra size. I think I'm a 32G. And my hips I think are 33 inches, maybe 32, maybe a bit smaller.
Cool. Okay, then how did you start within the industry? You've mentioned it a little bit.
Yes. So I was at university doing my law degree, and there was a strip club in Sheffield, which is where I did my degree. And I I don't know, I just really was drawn to it. And I was looking at the girls on Instagram that were working there, and I was like, that looks a lot more fun than getting up at 8 a.m. to go and learn about contract law. So that's what I did. So I started stripping and I worked there for a few years. Um, and I really loved it. And it was really a lot better than what I was doing at university, a lot more fun.
Okay. And then how did you progress from there to the actual adult industry?
So after stripping, I started working on adult television, which is something I think we only have in the UK, but I'm not sure, called Babe Station. So that's kind of like a call center, only you're also broadcast on live television and you take obviously phone calls, you can be naked, stuff like that, which I again really enjoyed. And then right at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, I kind of took a dive into porn. And I went to Budapest. I spent 10 days there and I did all my scenes, like my first ever. I had my first ever lesbian experience there as well, which was crazy. So yeah, I really dived in head first.
I wouldn't normally ask, but I'm going to have to, else my our fans and probably your fans will kill me if I don't ask. So, how did your first lesbian experience go?
It was, I tell everybody this, it was crazy. So it was for Rocco Siffredi, which obviously, number one, I didn't know who he was before, which is really bad to admit. I didn't know his reputation, and I was with a Russian porn star who does really extreme things. And I had to put my fingers inside for the first time, and I was absolutely terrified. I felt like one in, and her reaction, she said, "Are you kidding? I want three." So I had to put like three fingers in, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a great time. It was so much fun.
Okay. How did you create the name?
The name. So actually, when I started working in the strip club, they told me I had to pick a fake name, and I had absolutely no idea that was a requirement. I didn't know. Um, so the girls there were like, "Oh, what about Scarlett?" Obviously, because of my hair color and stuff, and that kind of stuck. And then Jones, I was working at Babe Station, my first shift, and they told me I need a surname, I need a second name. Again, no idea. And I was thinking I wanted to be called. I don't know. I was thinking like, oh, maybe Bond. Do you know like James Bond? And then a few hours later, they asked me again, and I completely forgot. And instead of saying Bond from James Bond, I said Jones from Bridget Jones. So it was a complete accident because I was so nervous.
What do you enjoy most about being a porn star?
I say the fan interaction, 100%. Obviously, that's not part of the porn, the filming itself, but speaking to the fans, watching the scenes with them, which I do, my OnlyFans, um, and just seeing their reactions and how much they love it. It really is the best thing.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years, hopefully in America, somewhere warmer than here. Um, yeah, hopefully working in America, just doing what I love.
What's your favourite sexual position on and off camera and why?
Oh, okay. I have different answers for both. So, on camera, reverse cowgirl or cowgirl. Um, I don't know. I think I like those ones because I feel like it gives me sometimes the most control, or I know kind of how to angle it the best with the camera. Um, and in private life, I'd say missionary or doggy style.
Okay. Are there any sex acts that you haven't shot yet but want to?
Oh, I've not shot many actually. I've never done a boy boy girl threesome. I've never done a threesome with two men. I've not really done a lot, to be honest. I've never been able to like squirt in the scene yet, which I really want to do. So yeah, there's definitely a few things to tick off my list.
Which porn star do you most like to work with?
Oh my God, that's such a difficult question. Lacey Lemon.
What would you change about the adult industry?
What would I change? I don't know. I mean, I don't really have any problems. I think the only thing is in Europe at the moment, we're having, well, we personally, but they're having a syphilis outbreak, which is obviously a really big deal. So, if anything, I would change the safety of it, somehow make testing in Europe standardized so that people would be more safe with their health. I think that's probably the only thing.
Yeah. Has the stigma around the adult industry affected you?
Yes. not in not with people, a lot of people, but my parents don't speak to me. So I don't have any relationship with them and I haven't done for a few years. Also people from high school obviously don't friends that I thought were friends don't speak to me more. So that's definitely affected me. But also the people who are your kind of people won't really care anyway. So it does help weed out the wrong kind of people, if that makes sense. But yeah, I would say it definitely has affected other people. It doesn't affect me and how I feel about myself, but it definitely affects other people.
Yeah, yeah. What's the weirdest thing you've been asked to do during a shoot?
Hmm. I don't. Okay, again, Rocco. It's not. I don't get asked to do any weird things actually, but all the foot fetish stuff I've done for Rocco, especially like sucking men's feet, putting my tongue like in between men's toes is kind of something not a lot of people do in their private sex life, but I think it's hilarious. It just makes me laugh.
What advice would you give to someone who wanted to get into the industry?
Uh,
You must get this a lot, surely, DMs and
yeah, I've been asked this.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I just say I get a lot of messages actually from girls saying, "I really want to do porn, but my boyfriend doesn't want me to." So it's like, well, I can't do anything about that. What do you want me to do? So I don't know. I'd say just make sure you know what you're getting into, get a good agent, charge a good rate as well. Don't accept a really low rate, and do what you enjoy.
Yeah. Believe it or not, we also get emails asking us how can people get into the industry, or
Really?
can you recommend us? Can you know some
Oh
agents?
my
Can you
god,
pass
no
on our
way.
details? And like, I don't know you, and I can't really because performers that I know, it's sort of like a trust there that I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
I've got
I guess.
I've
Yeah.
got their phone number and email addresses because they
Mm,
trust me. So I don't want to
yeah.
start sending them saying, "Oh, by the way, this person who I've never met would like to get in the
Yeah.
industry. Can you help them?"
Exactly. No, I can imagine. I think it is difficult if you're not already in the industry to break into it. Obviously, like
Yeah,
I already knew people at Babe Station. I already knew of agents because of my adult career.
yeah,
So I think it's kind of rare for someone to just start porn having never done sex work in any other regard. Um, so people should be able to find out on their own, I think.
yeah. I mean, I ask a lot of performers that question, and you find the answers are different. So I always like to
Yeah,
ask because everyone's got a different way into it. Maybe it's for OnlyFans, or
of course. Yeah,
they through modeling, or they had a friend who
yeah,
did it. There's loads of
yeah,
different avenues into it.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Find your way. If you want to do it, then you'll find a way.
yeah. Exactly. I agree. And sometimes it finds you instead. Obviously, like
Yeah.
the way I heard of my agent was Julia, like following me on Instagram and stuff. So things usually work out as they should.
Cool. Have you ever been grossed out during a shoot? And if so, how did you handle it? You're not going to say
Um,
Rocco again.
anything grossed out? Don't think so. I would. This is actually really weird, probably for people who aren't English. Um, when I used to do Babe Station, actually, it's not a porn. It's not technically a porn shoot, but I used to do Babe Station. They used to have a little girl section, like VSX type thing. And I was just 19. I was really young. I was so inexperienced sexually. I only had one partner, and I was like so terrified. And like that would gross me out just doing the like lesbian stuff, I'd be like, oh, because I don't know, it was just so, I was so young and so new. And the
Mm.
girls they'd put me with were always very experienced and pushy, and they'd kind of make, and it wasn't tested either. They didn't test you that, and they didn't require it. And they'd always try and make you do things, and it was just gross. It was like really unsafe, really not good.
Mm.
But in professional porn, no, it's all good.
Cool. What hobbies and interests do you have outside of the industry?
Okay, so I could say I've been coloring my, I'm just using my coloring book before I spoke to you. I like film, TV. I like music and food and writing and reading. Like going to theme parks, traveling, things like that.
Cool. What do you use sex toys? If so, which ones?
I'd say personally no. Like I obviously I have a lot of them. I really like butt plugs. I just think they're really fun, and they're really creative as well. You know, when you're doing like OnlyFans stuff, obviously you can get like ones that flash and light up. You can get all sorts of themes. So I really like butt plugs. So an accessory for my ass.
To date, which porn scene are you most proud of and why?
Oh, I actually one of them isn't out yet. I can't say, it's like a secret. But the other
You
one I'd
can
probably
tell
say
us.
is, oh, I don't know. um, it's a site I've not debuted on yet, but I've shot for them a few times, but I've still not. They're not releasing anything yet. But I'd say my Tushy Raw scene. So it was my second anal in my life. It was with Alberto Blanco, and I loved it. It was so much fun. Um, just everything about the day worked. It was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. And so it was my second anal in my life. I gaped loads, and it was, yeah, it was really fun.
Do you watch porn? If so, what type?
Do you know, since doing porn, no, because I know every time if I was going to, I could see people I know. It's really weird. I'd say I do watch it to get inspiration. So I've watched obviously like loads of Adriana's scenes where she's like doing all dirty talking and stuff. Um, so yeah, I definitely like ones more like that where it's a bit more energetic.
If you're interviewing a porn star, what would you ask them? And answer this question yourself.
Oh, that's a difficult one. Um, hmm. I don't know. I don't. Oh, that's a difficult question.
It can't all be
Um,
easy.
no, that's true. I do have one, but I don't know if it's not very like sexy question. It's kind of controversial. I would probably ask, do you think one day you'll regret this? Because recently it's kind of come out, you know, Lana Rhodes. There's a
Mhm.
lot of controversy at the moment
Yes,
because she's come out and said it should be banned. So I'd be
yeah.
interested to know other performers' opinions on that.
There was another performer as
Oh,
well before her who has been out of the industry for some time who's done the similar thing. Oh, that
oh, really?
Mia
Oh, of
Khalifa or
course.
whatever her
Yeah,
name is.
yeah.
She's quite
I've
famous
seen her
for
on
it.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'd ask that because obviously I've got a lot of friends in the industry on Twitter and they're all saying, you know, how can someone condemn it in that way when they've profited off it so much? And I do agree, but I'd be interested to know what other performers think.
Hmm. What really turns you on?
I really like threesomes. Like I really like boy, girl, girl. I love that so much. It's one of my favorite genres of film, 100%.
Okay. Who within the adult industry would you like to nominate to also answer these questions?
Oh, I have to choose someone from the UK, obviously. So probably my friend Lola Rose. If she has, I don't think she's already been interviewed.
No.
But she's kind of like new to porn. She's not done that many porn scenes, but I think it's something she's interested in. She's shot with Danny D and Brazzers and stuff like that. So I'd say probably my friend Lola Rose.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for doing the interview.
That's okay. Thank you very much for having me.